Yeah, I think we are live now. Hi everyone, this is Sayali over here. I'm very happy that you guys have joined in. It's March, and if you have started preparation now itself, it's a very good thing. It's the serious students who make it, not the best, not the smartest, but the most serious and the most diligent students who make it. So you're already in a fairly good set at the moment. So very good start for everybody who's tuning in now. I would request everybody who's tuning in right now to please like the stream and share the stream with your friends. The more number of students that join into the stream, the better idea you'll get about the peer group you have. Also, you will have an idea about the you will also have an idea about the how many students are seriously preparing, and if our videos get a lot of views and many students join in for these sessions, then we'll also be encouraged to hold more of these sessions. So please like and share this stream. We'll be starting fairly soon, so please like the stream, share the stream with your friends. If you are part of any Telegram or WhatsApp groups, please post this session details of this session there, so that more students can join in. We'll be starting fairly soon, so please like and share the stream so that we can get started. Thank you so much for all those who have joined in. Neil, Ratika and Aryan, you guys are really good students, and we should make sure that more students get benefited from this particular lecture. That way we'll hold more lectures as such. So please like the stream and share the stream. Will be starting soon. In case you are joining in, I'll just basically give you the format of this particular session as such. So basically what we are going to do in this session, this is on 2D arrangements. So one thing that I actually thought while we were actually preparing while we prepared students for CAT 2020, we had it in our mind that we should, when it came to DILR, we had it in our mind that we should prepare students for all eventualities. We should make sure that every single set that came in every single CAT till then would be adequately covered, so that any student who prepares for CAT would be able to solve the set which had come earlier. But what is happening right now is that in each passing CAT, we see that the paper setters are trying to be one step ahead, where they are trying to find new ways of asking questions, new sets, new puzzles as such, where just solving the previous puzzles would not be enough. And that's what you see when many people get completely stumped by the DILR section. They get stumped by the DILR section because they have not seen anything of that sort before. If you have seen something like that before, it's easier for you to solve. So what we have, even in 2020, many types were repeated. Cumulative data table was repeated, four-set Venn diagram was repeated, but there were many new types as such. So what we are basically thinking through this DILR live sessions is that we are going to try to do DILR puzzles that have not been adequately covered as yet in the previous CATs as such, which are basically we are trying to think what else can be asked. So one of the things that we saw new in CAT 2020 was this 2D space arrangement. If you guys remember, there was like an arrangement of trees in a grid as such. And this is something that marries what has been asked in CAT before. One is 2D space LRs and arrangement. Arrangement is like a leading question type in CAT. So if you combine them together, you get 2D space arrangements. And this is something that we do expect to see more of in the coming CATs. So that is why we are basically trying to think what new can come in CAT as such. So that's the whole thinking behind the DILR series. What I'll try to do in these live sessions is try to find out different types of DILRs that have not been covered and try to cover them in the live sessions as such. Before we get started, I would please urge you to like and share the stream so that more students can join in, more students can see this as such, and more students will get benefited. It will also benefit you if you know your peer group better, then you will be doing better as such. We'll just try to make this live so that the idea is that you solve the DILR set, try to solve it yourself first, and then once you have solved it, then you will get an idea of how to solve sets like this. We'll give you a chance to solve it. If you're not able to solve it, I'm there to explain it. So I'll just try to make this live as such. I'll currently the older session is still live. I'll try to get the newer session, newer session live as such, so that then you can get if you go to kraku.in/live, you will be able to then see the current session as such. So we'll 1 second, we'll try to get that session live, so that once you go to kraku.in/live, you will be able to see the new session. Back to this. So please like the stream, share the stream, so that more students can actually join in the particular stream as such. We'll just make this live. Yeah, is live. Yeah. If you go to kraku.in/live, you will be able to see the current live session, which is on 2D space DILR. Yeah, so it's already live. I'll be sharing, so please go to kraku.in/live. Once you go there, what you will see over there is you will be seeing the YouTube video frame, and you will be seeing nothing as of right now. But soon in that page, I'll be posting questions. So in this particular live session, we are going to have 2 DILR sets. Okay, so the first set is going to be a smaller set, just to basically get you acquainted with the idea of how to solve 2D space arrangements. And this will be a 2-question set, easier set, not very easy, not very trivial, but on the easier side. This is basically to get you started with how to solve these kind of sets. And the second would be a proper 4-question DILR set. This set is a slightly hard, difficult set as such. This would be a moderate set as such. So both of these are essentially geared towards making you or teaching you how to visualize arrangement in a 2D space as such. So we'll be covering these 2 sets in this particular live session. We'll be getting started pretty soon. So if you have any, there'll be a test. There'll be, Sudhanshu is asking, will there be a test? There'll be a test on 2D space arrangements. You can solve it yourself. The first 2 questions you will get 6 minutes to solve. The second 4 questions you will get 12 minutes to solve. If you are not able to solve it, I'll be there to solve it afterwards. So please like the stream, share the stream, so that you can get more people to join it. The link is kraku.in/live. Sriram is asking, what is the link to this test? Just go to kraku.in/live. This current 2D space arrangement would be live over there at the moment. So just go to kraku.in/live. You will see this particular 2D space arrangement live session there. So this is the basic format that we are going to follow. As I said earlier, if you guys are just joining in, the basic idea behind this session is that I want to actually cover DILR sets that have not been covered much before, that have not been seen before. And the reason for doing that is that I want my students to be 1 step ahead of the crowd, and essentially think like the paper setter would. Each year the CAT paper is going to be 1 step ahead of the students by setting at least a few DILR sets will be something which you have not seen before. Though that might be the case, the types of puzzles and the types of DILRs that can possibly be are limited. So what you are trying to think is that what all kinds of puzzles are there, and from that we are going to try to pick new types of puzzles, so that you have experience of things that you have not really solved before. So that is the basic idea. Please, if you are interested in doing very well in DILR, if DILR is something that you struggle in, if DILR is something that you are decently well in but you want to do really well in, this is something that is going to help you, where you are basically going to learn how to adapt to new sets. That is a very important skill which most of the students are not able to do. If you see a new set, most of the students are not able to solve it in the first time or the first go, because you essentially take a whole lot of time when you're doing something for the first time. So this case, we are just trying to cover all the types of DILRs that are there, so that any new type of DILR set that comes in actual CAT you would have seen before. That's the basic thought process. Please like and share the stream. I know that a lot of students are very interested in DILR. It's like the Achilles heel for many good students also. So please like and share the stream. Also, I see only 15 guys in kraku.in/live. If you guys are just joined in, please go to kraku.in/live. The test will appear there. The test will have 6 questions. one LR set of 2 questions, that is it's a moderate difficulty set. There are only 2 questions, but essentially to solve it you will take 6 minutes. Definitely you will take 5 minutes to solve that set. It's a smaller set, but it will help you understand how to solve. The second is a proper CAT type 4 question DILR set. In fact, I would argue that it is on the harder side. It might mostly come as a 6 question DILR set. So please head over to kraku.in/live. This over here, kraku.in/live. It's a free test. Everybody can give it. The questions will appear once I start posting them. Before we start with the questions, I'll just give you a brief overview how to solve questions on 2D space arrangement. Most of you would have already, I'll just write the link over here in case somebody joins in now. Go to kraku.in/live. Okay. So most of you would already know how to do arrangements. Most of you know how to do linear arrangements. You draw a line, you try to place people according to the clues given. Most of you also know how to do Einstein's puzzles, arrangement with attributes. All of these have been covered in detail in our video series, but most of these things have been seen before. But what was not seen before, on a lot of questions have not been set of this particular type, are 2D space arrangements. So in 2D space arrangements, unlike like a line or a circle, you will be given a grid and you have to arrange items or people in a grid. Now this essentially makes things slightly difficult. Now why does it make it difficult? Because in this case you have to use 2D space logic, that is basically how things fit together, visualization skills along with arrangement skills. In arrangement you can use text skills or logical reasoning skills. But in case of 2D space LRs, what you know is that you need a lot of visualization skills. You should be able to visualize how the pieces will fit together. Now, because of this, whenever you have a 2D space arrangement, you have to understand that how do different elements fit together and how can you arrange them. The fact that there is limitation on how things fit together, how different puzzle pieces fit together, it itself basically gives you an additional clue as far as arrangement is considered. So this will give you this is slightly harder form of arrangement, and given the fact that plain arrangement is not coming these days, you are seeing arrangement with like a quant concept, you are seeing arrangement with additional concepts as such. Because of that, we expect that if arrangement does come, it will come as part of a 2D space LR setting as such. So that is why we are learning this. So just remember what are the skills tested. Again, your basic arrangement skills will help you. Whenever you have an arrangements question, you should write down every single clue in the logical operand style. Always whenever you say that, okay, this is to the left of x is to the left of y, z is above x, anything like that, you should always write down. If I say z is above x, you should encode it like this. If I say x is to the y is to the right of x, you should encode it like this. Always whenever you have any kind of information, the first thing is that whatever is there in the caselet, encode it as logic. The second thing you should remember is when you have 2D spaces where like grid, like a board, anything of that sort, you have to draw the different cases. A lot of students think that there must be a simpler way of doing things where you don't have to draw or you don't have to consider the different cases. No, because ultimately what happens is that if you draw, you will actually take lesser time than if you try to logically infer. What happens is when you try to logically infer, you end up with a wall beyond which you cannot go. But when you try to draw it out, you will end up with like 6 cases or 8 cases, and you might think, okay, drawing 8 cases is a waste of time. But you can essentially, those 8 cases, you can remove cases pretty quickly, pretty early on. So essentially you will end up by actually having to draw out max of 2 cases. So it won't take too much time. But whenever you have a 2D space, just remember you should be ready to draw things out. So whenever you say that there's a chessboard, you should actually draw out a 8x8 chessboard. You should be ready to visualize how the pieces are on the table. So whenever you have a 2D space plus arrangement, be ready to draw the different arrangements. You might actually find pretty quickly that some arrangements are impossible, so you don't need to actually draw them out fully, but you should be ready to draw. That is the only surefire way of solving these kind of sets. So now that you guys know how to solve these kind of things, I'll be starting the test fairly soon. Manaspreet is asking when will the test begin. We'll be beginning pretty soon. Please, there are 29 guys on the live stream and 20 on kraku.in/live. If you have just joined in, please go to kraku.in/live. Please join there so that you can take the test live. If you have friends who are preparing for CAT, people who struggle with DILR section essentially, please share this particular video, please share the link to this video with your friends so that more of them can join in and so that more students can benefit from this. The more students join in, the more students actually start seeing this particular stream, will actually be more motivated to hold more of these streams. We want to make this into a weekly feature so that we cover the different possible types of DILRs as much as possible. So please like the stream, please share the stream. So let's get started. I'll post the first, please go head over to this site. I'll be posting the first, this soon. I'll be posting the first question soon. So, okay, and leaderboard I'll hide. Okay, so this is the first set. It has been posted. I'll just make the this bigger. I can make. Okay, 1 second. If anybody has any questions as such about how to prepare for this, please post over here. I'll try to explain how you should actually go about it. While trying to solve this, if you need any hints, just let me know and I'll try to give hints also. So the first set is posted. It's a moderate difficulty set. There are 2 questions in it, so please try to solve. There are 23 guys who are just joining in on YouTube. Just head over to kraku.in/live. The test is going on over there so that you can take the test in real time and then you can compete with other students who have joined us. Okay. The website live stream, Neil is saying the website live stream is lagging behind the YouTube stream. Neil, just use the YouTube stream for viewing because the website, there is like latency whenever there's an API call, there's some amount of latency added by default. So just use YouTube for that. And in the actual kraku.in/live page, see the questions there, solve the questions there as such. Okay, so guys, please head over to kraku.in/live so that you can take the test. If you have any question or if you need any hint about how to solve this, please just ask over here and I'll be happy to help all of the students who are preparing. I know a lot of students struggled a lot with DILR in CAT 2020. It was one of the make or break sections, and I've seen a lot of students who are very good in quant also slightly struggle with DILR because it is one of those places where you can have a decent, you can have a good DILR section, but most of the times it fluctuates between moderate and extremely bad. So because of that, it is important that you have a strategy in place, a plan of action in place, and you should know how to exactly represent information in each case and how to solve in every different cases of this as such. So this is the first question. If you guys are not able to read it, I'll just read it out for you. 3 friends, Aman, Bimal, Charu, are playing darts on a square dartboard made up of 9 cells. So this is a square dartboard, and each of those circles basically represents an attempt, and each of those cells has some points from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, and you have to basically answer questions about the sum of points. So you have to essentially try to arrange the points in the cells. So if that makes it easier. Let's see if anybody has been able to answer. Not yet. It's not a very easy set, so it is going to take some time for people to solve. So if you guys need a hint, just let me know. I'll try to give you hints as such. And if you guys somebody is joining in right now on YouTube, please head over to kraku.in/live. The test is going on there. I see 40 people in the stream, but only 23 in the website at kraku.in/live. Please head over to this website so that you can give the test yourself. Even if you're joining in late, that's fine. You still get to solve the question and the test as such. The main set, which is going to come later, is going to be the harder one, which is the more real test of what a CAT set would be like. Okay, so let us see how much time has it been. Okay, there's 2 minutes left. I hope you guys are getting how to solve it. I'll give you a small hint if you guys are still struggling with this. The small hint is that, see, there are 9 cells, there are 7 values, and you are told that other than 0, none of the other values repeats. So then you can say that what would be the values. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 will appear exactly once, and 0 can repeat. So 0 will have to come how many times? It will have to come 3 times. So you know now what are the values or sets of values that you have to arrange in the 9 cells. So that was your hint. Now please go ahead and try to solve it. I hope somebody has been able to solve it. Yeah, Sarthak and Ritika have been able to solve it. Good going, Sarthak and Ritika. If you guys are just joining in, please head over to krakow.in/live and you will be able to solve it yourself. If you are stuck anywhere, please just let me know and I'll try to give you some more hints as to how to solve this. Amish is asking, give some tips for DILR. See, Amish, I have given CAT many times, and the thing that I have noticed each time is that the sets I could do very, very well were the types of sets that I had already seen and I knew how to start with. Essentially, if you know the first starting bit, okay, if you know how to represent the information, then it becomes very easy because you know exactly how to put all the information that is given into the right format, and then it becomes just a matter of going through and solving it. The biggest hurdle as far as DILR is getting started. Once you read a caselet, if you don't realize how to get started, it becomes very difficult to solve that particular DILR caselet. So the biggest hurdle most of the times is getting started. So the thing that you should try to do when you're preparing for DILR is try to figure out, okay, if this is the type of DILR set or this is the type of DI set, there's a table given, there's a pie chart given, what should I do? How should I start off? What kind of representation format should I follow? If this is the type of LR set given, how should I represent this information? If you can crack representation of information, you can crack how to solve the LR set fairly easily. It becomes very deterministic then. The difficult part is trying to map a particular type of LR set with a particular type of representation format. So what you have done through our video series is that taken every type of LR set, say scheduling, arrangement across levels, arrangement with attributes, Einstein puzzle, and we have tried to map it with a representation format. It works fairly well when you have a expected type. So for example, in CAT 2020, you had a 4D space Venn diagram. Everybody who had seen our video was able to solve it because once you know how to represent that information, it becomes trivially easy. But things become harder when you have a set which has never come before, which you have never seen before. That is the difficult part. So that is our entire endeavor. Find new sets, teach you how to represent that information. Once you are able to figure out, okay, if this kind of puzzle comes, this kind of representation format has to be followed, and if you add practice to that, there is no DILR set that you cannot solve. So that is the basic thing that you have to keep in mind. So if you guys are joining in now, please head over to krakow.in/live. Let me see if more have, okay, a lot of guys have been able to solve. Sarthak, Kritika, Manaspreet and Ashwin were able to solve it correctly. So 5 correct, 5 wrong, I think. Just see the second question also, because this is a set of 2 questions. The first question is this: what is the sum of the points in the middle row? And the second question is, which of the following could be the sum of the points in the rightmost column? So the time is up and I'll be trying to solve this set. Good going for Sarthak, Kritika, Manaspreet and Ashwin. This is not trivial. It looks deceptively easy, but it is not trivial as such. It's important to see different kinds of sets so that once you've seen this set, if it does actually come in a CAT paper, you will be able to solve it. That is the important thing that you should keep in mind. Even those who are not able to solve it, just remember how to solve this particular set. The next set that comes of this type, I'm sure you will be able to solve it. So let's see how to solve this particular set. So I'll hide the leaderboard. So let's see how to actually solve this set. I'll start with the information that is given. 3 friends, Aman, Biman and Charu, are playing darts on a square. So this is the square dart board. Each of these cells has values. So there are 3 cells and 3 columns. Each cell has points assigned from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. So there are 9 cells and 7 values. So there will have to be at least some repeated values by default. Each possible value appears at least once and none other than 0 appears twice or appears more than once. So in this case, basically just remember that essentially you have, the phrasing should have been that each one appears exactly once and 0 appears more than once. So just remember that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 appear once and 0 appears thrice in this case. So just think of it that you have to essentially put 0, 0, 0 and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60 in these 9 cells as such. Okay. Maruti sir is also on the leaderboard. He basically joins in to see whether the stream is going fine. He's not actually solving. So basically, see, we have to arrange these 9 values in these 9 cells as such. If you are not able to solve it, then also just please try now. There was a slight, I think, ambiguity with the phrasing where it appears at least once and none appears twice. Basically, it should be actually these appear exactly once and 0 appears more than once as such. So if you were, because of that ambiguity, if you were struggling, just try to solve it now also, that is fine. See, basically, we have to fit these 9 values in these 9 cells as such. The throws of each of these are represented by the colors yellow, blue and green, not necessarily in this order. So we have to figure out which of the colors represents which person. So you have Aman, Bimal and Charu. So you have to essentially assign them the 3 colors. Charu scored 120 points, Aman scored 20 points, Bimal scored 70 points. In this case, we have to also use enumeration concept. In what way can you actually score 120 points? In what way can you score 20 points? In what way can you score 70 points? All the corner sets have values between 20 to 50, both inclusive. So essentially, you have 20, 30, 40, 50 in some order in the corner cells. And in the middle cell, middle column and middle row, you have the 3 zeros, 10 and 60. So that is the basic arrangement information that is given. That and the throws is basically how you should actually use to arrange the values around the grid. Now Charu scored 120 points. In what way can she actually score the 120 points? She can score the 120 points either as, if she scores 60, then it can be 60 plus 50 plus 10. So this will be 120. Or she can score as 60 plus 40 plus 20. So that is also 120. She can't do 60 plus 30 because 30 has to come only once. So because of that, the only 2 ways in which she can actually, if she scores 60, 60, 50, 10 and 60, 40, 20. If she has, she can also score it as 50, 40 and 30 as such. So these are the 3 ways in which she can actually score 120 points. Now if that is the case, if this is the way in which she can actually score 120 points, let us see if any value, actually blue, green or yellow, can give us something like this. See, if it is 60, 50 and 10, 50 has to be a corner value. So basically you have to have at least one corner, throw in a corner. You have one corner with green, you have one corner with blue. So blue is there in one corner cell, green is there with one corner cell, yellow is there only in the middle row, so it has no corners as such. So essentially Charu, because if she has scored 50, she cannot be yellow as such. In that case, she can be, in this indicates she can be either green or blue. Now if it is 60, 40, 20, if she has scored 60, 40, 20, 40 and 20 have to be in the corners, but there is no color which has 2 corners as such. So this particular combination cannot be. Then you have 50, 40, 30. All of them are in corners. There is no color which is actually taking up 3 corners. So even this combination cannot be. So the combination for Charu should be 60, 50, 10. So the only possible combination is essentially, I'll put it over here because, yeah. So for Charu it is 60 plus 50 plus 10. This is the only way in which she can actually get the 120 score. And that also means that she has to be either green or blue, because that 150 has to be in the corner and yellow has 0 shots in the corner. So that means that Charu is either green or blue. Now consider Aman, who has scored 20. How can Aman score 20? So Aman can score 20 as 20 plus 0 plus 0. Is there any combination, other combination from this given set which gives you 20 plus 0 plus 20 points? There is no other combination. So essentially the only way that Aman can score 20 points is if he hits 120 cell and the other 2 0 cells. There is no other way in which he can actually get 20 points. 10 doesn't appear twice, so you can't have 10 plus 10. So that means that the only way he can actually score 20 points is in 3 throws he goes 20, 0, 0. It can be in any order, but then it will be 20 points as such. So that means that Aman has to have 20 plus 0 plus 0. And again 20 has to be in a corner. So again, the only two colors which are there in any of the corner cell is green and blue. So even Aman has to be green or blue. Now if, or I'll rather write it as blue or green, because if I've written this as green or blue, it is, this would be blue or green correspondingly. Now you have Bimal left. Now if these two are green or blue and blue or green, that means that Bimal has to be yellow. The only guy left who can't be green or blue as such. One of these two has to be green, the other has to be blue. So that means Bimal has to be yellow. Now if Bimal has to be yellow, let us see how we can get his 70 points. So 70 points, how will you get 70 points? So you can get that as 60 plus 10 plus 0. Now can you get it in any other way? See, you can have 50 plus 20 plus 0 or 40 plus 30 plus 0. But that would mean that your shot has to land in at least one corner cell. But yellow is there only in the middle row. It is not there on any of the corners as such, which means that he cannot get any other configuration other than 60 plus 10 plus 0. So this has to be 60 plus 10 plus 0. Now if this guy is 60 plus 10 plus 0, he is yellow. So we know that this particular row is 0, 10 and 60 in some order. Okay, that I have figured out. Aman has to be 20, 0, 0, that is blue or green. And Charu has to be 60, 50, 10 and that is green or blue. Now we see that green and yellow, if you see green and yellow, they are the same for two values and different for one value. So we have to see between Charu and Aman who has the same common value with Bimal as such. So if you see Charu and Bimal, 60 is the same, 60 is the same, 10 is the same, 10 is the same. So there are two values which are common between Charu and Bimal. Is that the case between Aman and Bimal as such? Between Aman and Bimal, only 0 is common. The other 0 and 20 are not common. So that basically means that Aman cannot be green, because we see two values common between yellow and green, which means that Charu is green, Aman is blue and Bimal is white. So now we get an idea that this is okay, this is 60, 10 and 0. Charu is 60, 50, 10. So what does it mean? See, this means that these two values where she is also, green is also present, has to be 60 or 10. So this has to be 10 or 60, this has to be 60 or 10. Similarly, the third value for Charu is 50, so this has to be 50. The third value for Bimal is 0, so this has to be 0. The values for Aman are 20, 0 and 0. Now 20 can only be in the corner cell, which means that this has to be 20. The other two values have to be 0, so these two become 0. So if this is the case, we get the possible distribution or arrangement as follows. The only values that are not there are 30 and 40, so this should be 30 or 40 and this should be 40 or 30. So we get the whole arrangement of values this way. It's not difficult at all. If you see how we got started, it is fairly easy. We could do this in 2-3 minutes as such. So it's not a difficult set as such. But the issue or the problem was getting started. Once you got started, it became fairly easy. So this is the possible arrangement of the points on the darts table as such. I know that many of you guys got the answer, and those who didn't, I hope that it becomes easier for you to understand how to go about solving it now. If you guys have any doubt about how to solve this, please just let me know and I'll try to explain it further. If you guys just joined in, please go to kraku.in/live. That is where the test is going on. So you can take the second set that is there at that particular place. So now that we have solved the entire arrangement, we can now try to solve the question that is there. So the first question is, what is the sum of the points in the middle row? So the sum of the points in the middle row is 10 or 60 and 60 or 10. So irrespective of whether it is 10 or 60 or 60 or 10, in both cases, the sum has to be 10 plus 60, that is 70. So the sum of the points of the middle row is 70. This is how you solve the first question. The second question is, which of the following, I'll just remove this, which of the following could be the, so I'll just remove this so that you can see the options. The question is, which of the following could be the sum of the points of the rightmost column. So the rightmost column is over here. So if you consider the values over there, you have 20 in the upper corner. Then you can have either 60 or 10, and you can have either 40 or 30. So if it is 20, 10, 30, the sum becomes 60. If it is 20, 10, 40, the sum becomes 70. If it is 20, 60, 30, it becomes 110. If it is 20, 60, 40, it becomes 120. So these are the four values that the sum of the rightmost column, points of the rightmost column can take. Of the options, only 120 is there, so the right answer is option A, 120. So this is how you solve this particular set. If you have any more questions related to it, please just put in the stream. I'll try to answer as much as possible. Shriram is asking 70 plus 70, 140 for first question. No, not 70 plus 70. We need the sum of the points in the first row. So the points are 10 and 60 or 60 or 10. So it becomes, the sum becomes 70 as such, not 140. So that is the answer. The first question is 70, not 140. So this is how you solve the first set. This was an easy set once you got started. I'll be giving a slightly harder set next. Please get ready for it. If you guys have to, please, if you can like the stream and share the stream so that it reaches more students, please do that now so that more students can join in. Please get ready with whatever your pen, pencils, whatever, because I'll be posting it in like 2 minutes, 1 minute as such. So please just get ready. If you have any question related to the first set, just please post in the chat. I'll try to explain it as much as possible. So let's get ready. We'll be posting the next set. So the next set is here. You have 12 minutes to solve it. Best of luck to everybody. Okay. Hiding the leaderboard. So best of luck, guys. I hope you guys are able to solve this. If you have any doubt, just please post it in the live chat. I'll be looking at the live chat and I'm answering questions from there. Anand says hi. Hello ma'am. Yeah, hi Anand. If you have any doubt, please just let me know. We'll be here to help you. If you guys are just joining in on the YouTube channel, just head over to kraku.in/live for the test. Just put in kraku.in/live and you'll go directly to the test. Okay. Best of luck with this. I'll try to give some hints in the middle so that it is easier for you guys to solve. But just try to solve it on your own for the first time. If you guys have problem with the font, I would suggest seeing the question out in the test window as such. Go to kraku.in/live. If you are seeing this video after the session, you can still go to the live session. So just go to kraku.in/cat live sessions, cat-live-sessions, cat-live-sessions. In that, I'll just write it down actually. In there you will see all of the older sessions also, so you can then see the tests that were there. If you are watching this not live and later on Facebook, just go over here, then you can see the set properly. You can attempt the test also properly. So this is the basic idea of this is kraku.in cat live sessions. Here you will see all the live sessions that are there, and then you can see the text also properly if you have difficulty in reading the text at the moment. I hope somebody is able to solve this. This is a slightly more difficult set, but it's a good set as such. It's indicative of the level that you'll actually get in CAT. So it's important to solve harder questions for CAT. If you guys have any question that you would like to ask me, just ask me now. I'll be here to answer all your questions. You can ask in the chat window that is there on kraku.in/live, or you can ask me in the live chat window in YouTube also. It's too early. I think it will take you some time to try to solve this. If you guys are just joining in and you want to find out how to take the test, go to kraku.in/live. So I'll try to give you a few hints about this. See, one thing that you're told is that there are 3 sets per system. So that's 3 into 3, that is 9 parking slots which actually have a car. And you are also told that there are a total of 12 parking spots, which means that there are 3 spots that are empty. Now, if you have, you've been also been told that they share the parking spots of the same person share a boundary wall. Now, if you share a boundary wall, if you consider the blocks like this, okay, if you share a boundary wall, you are essentially contiguous blocks. These two do not share a boundary wall. So essentially, you're looking for contiguous blocks. Now, consider how many ways in which you can have 3 contiguous blocks as such. One way is if you have 3 horizontal blocks. One way is if you have 3 vertical blocks. Now you can have the L shape. If you remember the game Tetris, you can have an L shape like this, or you can have an L shape like this, or the mirror image of it like this or like this. These are the only ways in which you can have actually contiguous blocks of parking spots, which means that Amrita, Kavita and Savita's parking spaces, if you just take their individual parking spaces, they are going to look like one of these 6 blocks. That's a big hint for you to try to solve this question. So now that you have this hint, please try to solve this set. If you guys are looking for CAT coaching, we are starting our we have already started quite a few batches for CAT. We'll be starting one soon in April. So if you're looking for comprehensive CAT coaching, if you're looking to crack CAT 2021 with complete focus, I'd urge you to join the upcoming batch. We basically focus on making sure you have a lot of exposure to all the DILR sets that are there. So that is concept videos. I will cover everything when it comes to concept videos, the different types of DILR sets that are there. And you have a lot of practice questions. We have like tons, absolutely like thousands of DILR sets. You will not be able to essentially like thousands of questions of DILR. You will have a lot of practice when it comes to DILR, and practice makes a lot of difference in DILR set. So please do join, just go see kraku.in, the CAT Online 2021 online coaching. There you will see the batches that are there, and join the newest one, so that the advantage of batches is that we give you a schedule along with the concept video. So you will be getting a daily schedule saying that on this date today you have to do XYZ tasks. So the scheduling, the idea of accumulating resources and telling you what you should be doing today is already done for you. So we have made these proper schedules saying that okay, on the 2nd of April you should be doing these tasks. It makes it much easier for the students, especially those who are working or who are hard pressed for time. Even students at times are hard pressed for time. So if you are looking for a comprehensive solution to prepare for CAT, please go to kraku.in/CAT 2021 online coaching. Otherwise, just go to kraku.in/CAT. There you will see the CAT preparation tab. If you go to kraku.in/CAT, also you will see the tab at this where you will get the link to the CAT preparation module as such. It's a comprehensive solution for you will get everything for cracking CAT 2021 as such. If you are also looking for just a lot more practice, I would suggest try checking out Kraku's study room, where you have a basically it's a large question bank, lot of questions for DILR, lot of questions for RCs, VARC, quant, everything. We have like a lot of questions so that you can get a lot of practice as such. So please do check out the packages at kraku.in/CAT so that you can find something that works for you. I hope some of the guys was able to solve it. Yeah, Sarthak and Ritika were able to solve it. Very, very well done, both of you. Manaspreet, I'm sure there's still time, you guys. There's still 3 minutes to go. So please try to solve this set as such. I'll give you one more hint if you guys are struggling to solve it. So now I've told you how to actually the 3 blocks that are there, okay? If you have these 3 blocks, how else can you actually put them together to one more information that is given to you is that Savita's parking spaces do not share a boundary with the parking space of Kavita and Amrita. Now, if that is the case, if I have a straight block like this, can I have a parking space such that it does not actually share a boundary with anybody else's? That way, I will have to put 3 empty. This has to be empty, this has to be empty, this has to be empty. Only then I will not share a boundary wall with anybody else's parking space. Same would be the case if it is horizontal. So in that case, I will not be able to keep I will have to put all three empty spaces in the same column, or all 3 empty spaces in the same row as such. But it is given that they are not in the same column or the same row. They are all in a different column and different row, which means that Savita's parking space cannot be like this. It has to be in a L-shaped form. Also, even if it is in an L-shaped form, for it to not share a boundary with anybody else, all three boundaries should be with empty spaces. The only way that can actually happen is if Savita's 3 parking spots, that L shape is in a corner. So it has to be in either like this, one corner like this, or one corner like this, or a corner like this, or a corner like this, and the empty spots have to be elongated. So if it is like this, say if it is 5, 9 and 10, okay, if these are Savita's parking spots, then 1, 6 and 11 have to be empty. So it can essentially, Savita's parking spots can be in any of the 4 corners. So this is a big hint for anybody who was stuck. Please try to solve it now. This is like a fairly big hint for how to solve this particular set. Now you know that Savita's parking space has to be in a corner. Okay. This for Sarthak and Ritika. Sarthak solved it completely, so very well done for Sarthak, who was able to solve this completely without any hint, and even for Ritika, you were able to do very well. Divyansh, I think Divyansh joined right now. Very well done, Divyansh. You were able to solve this set as such. Yash, Manaspreet, Gautam, Neil, all of you are doing very well. Just try to solve the entire set. You still have a minute. Okay. So very, very well done, all of these guys. I am very glad that even if it's a new type of DILR set, I am very glad that many more students are able to solve this. Students just joining in now, if you still want to go to the test, just go to krakow.in/live. If you are looking, students, if you are looking for a place where you can have peers who are also preparing for CAT, we have a very active Telegram group where we have a lot of serious students as such. So if you are a serious student who wants to interact with other peers who are also like posting questions, preparing for CAT, then you can join our Telegram group. We are posting the link to that in our live chat. So just see the live chat for the Telegram group. Those who are seeing the video afterwards on YouTube, who are not seeing it live, we'll put this in the description also. Please try to join the Telegram group, because in there we have a lot of very, very serious students who are preparing for CAT. So if you are, I'm guessing anybody who is preparing seriously now is a serious student. So please join over there. Gautam says that he wants to change the answer, but the interface doesn't allow it. I'm sorry, Gautam, but that's basically the limitation of the live test, because you also see the leaderboard immediately. Many students can see the leaderboard. If we allow you to change the question, what can happen is that many people will just see what gives them a good answer and then change accordingly. So that's why that this is there. We'll try to change it slightly where you have the option of submitting rather than just clicking and this, but that's why that issue is there as such. Sorry about that. But well done for trying to, even with that particular issue, you were still able to do fairly well and get on the leaderboard. So still well done, Gautam. If you guys, how much competition in CAT exam? See, state is world. There are 2 lakh students who are giving CAT, of which you can expect at least like 70-80,000 to seriously prepare for it. It is a very competitive exam, because it is 1 lakh or like 70-80,000 of postgraduate students who have already prepared hard for getting into a going through a graduate school and are now preparing seriously for post graduation. So the level of competition is high. But having said that, it also makes a difference of how committed you are, because not a lot of those students are able to give in time every single day. Many of them are working, many of them have their school work to do at the same time as preparing for CAT. So if you are able to commit to CAT preparation, even though there is a lot of competition, you can still do very well. Okay. Gautam, we'll try to make it less your feedback is appreciated. We'll try to tinker with it so that it's not where even if you want to change it, you can't change it as such. I think the time is also up. So I'll try to solve the question. Before that, very well done to Sarthak, Ritika, Divyansh and Yash, Siddharth, Manaspreet and Gautam. You guys have done exceedingly well, and I'm very happy that you did fairly well in solving the DILR sets. This LR set requires a fair bit of visualization. So if you are doing well over here, that means that you have an innate visualization skill. A lot of people struggle with visual reasoning kind of sets. There are some people who find it easy, there are some people who struggle. If you are finding it easy, it's a strength. You should know that it is a strength, and whenever you see something which requires like 2D space LRs and all, try to do that, because clearly it will be playing to your strengths. Well done Sarthak, well done Ritika, well done Divyansh. You guys are the top 3. Now let's take a look at the set and let's see how to solve it as such. So we are given that 3 sisters Amrita, Kavita, Savita bought flats in the same housing society. They are allotted 3 parking spaces each in the same garage with a capacity of 12 spots as shown. So they have 9 spots where they have 9 spots and 3 spots are empty. Each of the sisters has 1 hatchback, 1 sedan and 1 luxury high-end car. So basically you have one of each type. The hatchbacks are i10 Alto and Swift. The sedans are Corolla, City and Civic. The luxury cars are Aston Martin, Lamborghini and Land Rover. So you have to have one of each of these types. So you have to say that, okay, 1 i10, 1 Corolla, 1 Aston Martin. That would be one set as such. So you have to figure out which sister has which of these. We know about the following about the parking spaces and the cars in them. Each of the empty spaces is in a different row in a different column, which means that you can't have empty space here and an empty space just below it, because then they'll be in the same column. Or even you can't have like empty space and empty space, because again they'll be in the same column. Similarly, you can't have empty spaces in the same row. They have to be in a different column and a different row as such. Each parking space shares at least one boundary with another parking space belonging to the same person. What does that mean? This means that if this is Amrita's parking space, one parking space, it has to share a boundary. So another parking space has to be either next to it, below it, above it, or to the left or right of it, which means that the parking spots for Amrita have to be contiguous. So as I had said, if they have to be contiguous, just think of it in a Tetris way. The way the blocks of Tetris have to be contiguous, you can't have something like this, where only corners are touching. You have to have contiguous blocks for parking. So the 3 blocks, the 3 spaces can be either along the same row or along the same column, or they can be L-shaped like this. 1, 2, 3 or 4. These 6 shapes represent the only way in which the blocks can possibly be there for the 3 sisters. Why is it this way? Because each of the blocks has to share a boundary wall, which means that the blocks have to be contiguous. And if you take a set of 3 blocks and they have to be contiguous, these are the only shapes that you can possibly form. You can't have corners, just corners touching. Okay. So these are the possible ways in which the parking spots or parking spaces can be there for each of the sisters as such. Okay. Now, what we are told is that Savita's parking spaces do not share any boundary with the parking spaces of Kavita and Amrita, which means that, as I had mentioned earlier, see, if you have, if Savita's space is like this, okay, in that case, for her to not share a boundary with anybody else, you will say that, okay, I'll take the one of the edges. If you take any of the middle columns, what will happen is that you will have so many neighbors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 neighbors. All of them cannot be empty spaces, which means that you cannot have any of the middle columns. Even if you have this end column as such, then 2, 6, 10 will have to be empty spaces for her not to share a boundary with anybody else. But if 2, 6, 10 are empty spaces, the empty spaces are there in the same row, in the same column as such, which again violates the condition, which means that all her parking spaces cannot be in the same column or the same row as such. Even if it is the same row, even then you will have to have parking or empty spaces in the same column, same row above it. Suppose if it is 10, 11, 12, then 6, 7, 8 will have to be empty, so that she does not really share a border as such. Even 9 will have to be empty, which is not the case. So same row is just impossible, same column is also impossible, which means that the only way she can actually have not share a boundary with anybody else is if she has an L shape. And even if that L shape is like this, for example, consider this L shape, okay? In this case, if she has to not share a boundary with anybody else, this has to be empty, this has to be empty, this has to be empty, this has to be empty. Some 6 cells have to be empty for her to not share a boundary wall with anybody else. So even that is not possible, which means that the only way in which she can actually not share a boundary wall with anybody is if she is in a corner, which means that you should have something like this. It is either like 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 5 are Savita spaces, and 3, 6, 9 are empty. So these have to be empty then. This is one possibility. The second possibility is that 3, 4, 8 are her spaces. So this is like 3, 4, 8 are Savita spaces, and then these 3 are empty. This is E, this is E, this is E. Or you can have like these are the empty spaces, or you can have the bottom corner. So you have 5, 9 and 10 as her spaces, and this is empty, this is empty, this is empty. Or the fourth corner, which is over here, which is 8, 12 and 11, in which case this is empty, this is empty, this is empty. Now we have been given an additional information as such. We are told that the second, third and fourth column have 2 cars each, which means that there is one empty space in the second, third and fourth column. So in that case, if there is one empty space in the second, third and fourth column, which means that it cannot be there in the first column. We have to fit 9 cars, so the first column has all three spots in the first column are filled, which means that the empty space cannot be in the first column. So this, where the empty space is there in the first column, can be rejected. Similarly, over here also there is an empty space in the first column. This also can be rejected. Over here, we have also told that city is there in slot 4. If city is in slot 4, it cannot be empty. So even this is rejected. So only one case is there where 3, 4, 8 are Savita spaces, and these are empty spaces. So this is empty, this is empty, this is empty, and this is Savita space, this is Savita space, this is Savita space. These are the only possibilities given the fact that empty slots are not in the same row, same column. Parking spots share at least boundaries, so they are contiguous. Savita's parking do not share, so they do not share. And there are 2 cars each in second, third and fourth column. If we use these values, this has to be the configuration where you have these 3 are empty, 2, 7, 12 are empty, and 3, 4, 8 are Savita spots. So this is basically, you should have gotten till here. From here it is slightly easier. Okay, so now that you have gotten till here, let us see how you can put the remaining information to use. Okay, now you are also told that city is there in the 4th spot. So Savita has to have city because it is there in the 4th slot. So this is city. So from say Amrita, Kavita and Savita has the city. So she does not have the Corolla or the Civic as such. Amrita does not have the Civic, which means that Kavita has the Civic, which means that Amrita has the Corolla. And we are also told that Civic is in slot 10. So this is Civic. And 6 has Corolla. So this is Corolla. Now in what way can you actually have a distribution of 1, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11? See, one way you can put them together is like this. You have 1, 5, 6 as one block and 9, 10, 11 is another block. The other way you can have is as 1, 5, 9 is one block and 6, 10, 11 is another block. But if 6, 10, 11 is one block, then Corolla and Civic are in the same block belonging to the same person. So then one person will have 2 sedans and will not then have one of hatchback or the luxury car, which will actually violate the condition. So Corolla and Civic cannot be in the same block. So this cannot be the configuration, which means that one block like this is this and the other block is like this. Now I know that since Kavita cannot have, Amrita does not have civic, she has Corolla. So this is Amrita and this is Kavita. Okay, so 9, 10, 11 are Kavita slots, 1, 5, 6 are Amrita slots. So let me actually draw a slightly bigger diagram so that it is easier for students to see, and if you're not able to see from that small diagram, I'll just draw a slightly bigger diagram so that it's easier to see what is going on. So over here we have you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. So this is Savita, Savita, Savita. These are empty, empty, empty. Now this block is Amrita. These 3 are Amrita. This is Amrita's Corolla. This block of 9, 10, 11 is of Kavita, and she has her civic over here. Okay, so this is the information we have. City is over here. So we have placed the sedans. We need to place the luxury cars and the hatchbacks as such. Kavita does not have this Swift, and Amrita does not own the Civic. So this part is already done. So this also is done. I-10, Aston Martin, Corolla and Swift share at least 2 boundaries with empty spaces. So consider the cells which share 2 boundaries with empty spaces. It is this one which is 6, this one which is 11, and 3 and 8. So 6, 11, 3 and 8 share 2 boundaries with empty cells. Everybody else will share one boundary or no boundary with an empty parking space. So 6, 3, 11 and 8, 6, 3, 11 and 8 share 2 boundaries with empty cells. Corolla is already there. So of these, one of 3, 8 and 11 have to be Aston Martin, I-10 and Swift. So see, Kavita has to have one hatchback, Savita has to have one hatchback, and Savita has to have one luxury car at least. So between 3 and 8, at least one has to be a luxury car, and the only luxury car which has 2 boundaries with empty spaces is Aston Martin. So one of these 3 and 8 is Aston Martin, the other has to be one of I-10 or Swift as such. So one of these 2 has to be the Aston Martin, and the other has to be the hatchback, which will be between which will have to be between Swift and this as such, Swift and I-10. So this has to be hatchback or Aston Martin. We don't know which hatchback it is till now, but Savita has the Aston Martin. Okay. Now we are told that the Alto and Lamborghini are in the 2 corners of the garage. So essentially your Alto can be here and or the Alto can be over here. So it can be either 1 or 9. But if Alto is over here, we know that one of these has to be I-10 or Swift, and the other of I-10 and Swift has to be with Savita. See, essentially what we know is that one of I-10 or Swift has to be Savita's and the other has to be Kavita's. So that means both of these are belonging to either of this, because they have 2 boundary spaces with which are facing empty parking spaces, which means that the only third hatchback, Alto, must belong to Amrita. So Amrita has the Alto. If Amrita has the Alto, Kavita cannot have it, and since it is in the corner, that means that this corner is Alto. So this is the Alto, which means the only corner that is left, the city is here, this is empty, this is Alto. So the only corner that is left has the Lamborghini. So this means that Kavita has the Lamborghini. So Kavita has the Lamborghini. Amrita has the Alto. Since she has the Lamborghini, this person has the Aston Martin, then Amrita has the Land Rover. So the Land Rover has to be over here. Now that means that Kavita has to have the Swift or I-10 and Savita has to have the other one. We are told that Kavita does not have the Swift, so she has the I-10, and that means that Savita has the Swift. So it has to be Aston Martin or Swift or Aston Martin. So this has to be Swift, this has to be I-10. So this is the final configuration. You have Alto, Land Rover and Corolla with Amrita, and her block is this L-shaped block of 1, 5, 6. Kavita has Civic, Lamborghini and I-10, which is the base flat line over here, and Savita's is this L-shaped. So she has Aston Martin, Swift and City. City's position is known. Aston Martin and Swift can be interchanged as such. So we have these, this is a final arrangement using all the clues that are there. Now that we have used all the clues, let us see, let us take a look at the questions. Which of the following owner car space combinations is correct? So Amrita, Alto and 3. So Amrita Alto is fine, but it is not at 3, it is at 1. So that is incorrect. Kavita Swift and 11. Kavita Swift, Kavita has I-10, so that is incorrect. Kavita I-10 and 11. That is right. Her I-10 is in the 11th spot, so this is the right combination. Amrita I-10 and 3, that is wrong because Amrita has Alto. So the right answer is option C. Now let's take a look at the next question. You have, I'll remove this as such. So the question is, which space contains the Aston Martin? Now Aston Martin can be in either 3 or 8. So we don't know for sure where the Aston Martin is. So the answer should be option D, cannot be determined. Now let us consider 5. So in 5 we have the question, okay, clear this. So the question is, which of the following cars is the neighbor of I-10? So I-10 is over here, it has only one neighbor, immediate neighbor, which is the Civic. The other two spaces are empty, so its only neighbor is Civic. So the right answer is option D. Now let us consider the next question, which is the last question, which is how many non-empty parking spaces can we uniquely determine the car contained? So there are 9 parking spaces. Of that, 7 we know which car is contained. Only in the case of Aston Martin and Swift, we don't know which car is in that particular parking space. So for the 7 we know exactly non-empty parking space, we know exactly the car that is contained. So the right answer to this is 7. So this is basically how you solve this particular set. It is not a difficult set once you start going. Once you get the basic framework up, it becomes fairly easy. It's actually, once your framework is up, it's a very easy arrangement question. The difficulty lies in putting that framework up. So now that you know how to do these questions, what I would urge is, please go and try to answer more questions from our study room. If you are new to CAT preparation, please go and check out the previous papers. All CAT previous papers are available for free on Kraku, and the more you solve even from CAT previous papers, it is better for you. So please go and look at that. I thank everybody who came over here and who has started preparation. I hope all of you were found this informative, and it will help you understand how to solve 2D space LR problems. We'll try to take different types of problems. This is my thought process, that I want my students to solve as many different types of LR sets as possible. So I'm going to try to find different kinds of LR sets and whole live sessions on that. If you guys are, please like and share this video, and please come to the subsequent streams. So then we'll be motivated to do more of these streams where we find new types of LR sets, so that you are better prepared for anything that CAT exam throws at you. So thank you guys, thank you for everybody who came here, and the guys who did well, Ritika and Sarthak and Divyansh especially, very well done. We'll try to send a t-shirt to you. So if you can please send a if you send a email to support@kraku.in, we'll try to send you a t-shirt for doing so well in this particular streaming session. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much.